everyone, this is Korith Landwalker, and this afternoon we're going to look at perhaps one of the more overlooked sides of Star Citizen. No, it's not Pad 06. Pad 06 is simply where I need to pick up my ship in order to do the demonstration I have planned today. A lot of my streams tend to center around spaceships, which isn't surprising because starships are the beating heart of Star Citizen. However, the starships are not everything there is to it. At some point, you need to be able to defend yourself. Sure, you have armor to wear on your undersuit so that theoretically, if someone decides to do something bad to you in person, you will have some protection. Hey, Useless Fiend, how are you doing this afternoon? And Pad 6 is a great place to be, yes. It's one of the larger pads at this space station of Everest Harbor. And we are going to be taking my personal favorite ship out of the harbor to, shall we say, a somewhat different climb. Of course, while it may be one of my favorite ships, it does have a tragic issue with its doors sometimes. We're going to pretend that didn't happen. In any event, people will want to do bad things to you, and the only way to deal with people doing bad things to you is to do bad things to them back. Hence, personal weaponry. And there's a very large variety of these weapons in Star Citizen, and I thought that perhaps it might be amusing to demonstrate all of these weapons, or at least most of them, to give you an idea of what they do, and perhaps some things that you may not have known. Pew 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 indeed. And there is certainly pew pew involved. But there's also blam blam. Or even kaboom. Yes, we will hit all the sound effects by the time this is all over. We are going to go to the moon of Selin around the gas giant Crusader because, well, let's say that I have some entertaining reasons. And we're going to get to those momentarily. But first, I'm going to get ourselves set up so we're ready to jump. Because while we're on our way to the gas giant Crusader, I need to make certain preparations for our demonstration. You see, when I decided that I was going to do this particular stream, I wanted to have a target available. Now, my first choice, way back when I first conceived of the idea, was to use Pico the Penguin. Pico the Penguin is the mascot of the corporation Microtech, and you can buy stuffed animal versions of him at New Babbage. However, sadly, Pico seems to be invulnerable. You can't kill him. I've tried. So, that didn't work out as well as I was hoping. So the next option I was going to try was beer bottles, taken from the infamous location Grim Hex. Unfortunately, that had its own problems. You couldn't actually store the bottles in your suit. You can store all sorts of other drinks, but you couldn't store the bottles. So I couldn't bring the beer bottles to target shoot off of, which was really disappointing to me because that feels like it would have been the choice for target shooting. Unfortunately, these my last choice here were water bottles, and it was in the working with the water bottles. There we go. It was working with the water bottles I found that we might have some interesting... why did I do that? I didn't want to stow it. Because with the water bottles, I was able to find an alternative method. But in order to do that method, I kind of have to do this song and dance routine here. Where I have to get the bottles out and set them on the deck in order to prepare for a more interesting methodology. There we go. Now let's do something smart now and place. And hopefully it will not vanish. Okay, good. Good enough. Let's see if I can get the other bottles out now. It may look like I'm just littering my cargo bay, but there is a reason for this. A reason besides my own personal twisted amusement. And I see we've reached the gas giant already. That's the problem with taking this particular ship. I have a good quantum drive on here, so we can travel across the system pretty quickly. Which is the good part. The bad part is I am nowhere near ready for the next step here. Now, there we go. New bottle. Let's place that one down. I think that one worked out pretty well. Let's hop over to Selin first. I'm not entirely sure how close I can get to the gas giant without being taken in by its gravity well and having horrible things happen. Incidentally, we are very close, and there's my partner in crime, usually a very literal comment. Cap is along for the ride. In fact, he might, if we're really lucky, he might even volunteer for some of the more exotic tests. Of course, on the other hand, that would probably require a medical frigate for something along those lines, because they would involve shooting him. And that kind of thing would be considered awfully rude if you didn't have a method for him to recuperate at. So it's still up in the air. Quantum calibration, a little slow, but...
Quantum travel engaged.
And once we get here, I'm going to make sure we're pointing... well, pointing anywhere but on the surface of the planet so I can finish up my bottle work. Bottle work. That was good. Because one of the problems with these water bottles is that they're very, very small. And that might make them difficult to see when we're target shooting. Fortunately, there is an alternative. And I kind of found this out by accident. Okay, good. Both those bottles are still there. That much is right with the world. Now, the reason I'm using 5 water bottles is because I want to make sure that if accidents happen, I have spares to work with. And believe me, accidents are likely to happen. Actually, I'm telling a little bit of a fib there. There's not going to be anything accidental about it. Cap has arrived. Okay, 3 bottles. All I gotta do is drop this last one. Theoretically. Why is my inventory not playing nicely? There we go. Carry that one. And once I set this one down, the magic can start to happen. Come on, pull out. There we go. Water bottle. Down. Place. One of the things that you'll notice about your inventory... excuse me. Come on, inventory. Don't make me look bad. Is that if one of the options on here says store all commodities. And that's one of the reasons why I had to get all those out, because I didn't want them all in one. If you're on a cargo grid, like say on a starship, this will store all of my commodities from my personal inventory on a cargo box on the floor. So basically, I'm creating a number of cargo boxes. So that's cargo box number 1. And I'm going to rinse and repeat for the rest of these bottles. Now, there is some bad news. My original plan had been to buy as many water bottles as I could, put them in one container, and then just pull one out of the container as I went along. That's reasonable, right? Unfortunately, once you put them in a box, you can't actually get them out. Apparently, when we put them in a box, we sealed them up really, really good, really, really tight, and, well, as a result, I can't get anything out of the box once I've put it in. But that's okay, because these boxes will make for very good targets. Now, a smart person, meaning a really, really smart person, would have probably done all of this before he started his stream. Oops. But on the other hand, if I had done it before I started the stream, then you wouldn't have been able to see how to create your own cargo boxes. And you wouldn't have had the chance to realize that putting things in the cargo box at this point is a really, really dumb idea if you ever plan to get anything out of it ever again. Okay, 2 more boxes and we're good to go. I like Selin is the location because it's very nice and bright there, at least if I land on the light side. There's another good reason too, but I'm holding that in the back pocket for a moment. I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise. Alright, last bottle. And then I will have 5 target boxes to work with. Can we feel the excitement? There we go. Alright. Back up to the flight deck. And we're going to try to find a spot that's actually on the light side of Selin as opposed to somewhere on the dark side. Because we're going to do all this demonstration, we need to be able to see. And doing this in the harsh glare of the somewhat harsh glare of the headlights on the Mercury, not really the way to go. Alright, we are going to head to... if my quantum drive will ever spool up. There we go. Okay, that looks good. Let's see. That is Terra Mills Hydro Farm. Terra Mills. It doesn't actually have a landing pad, but that's good. It doesn't have an armistice zone, but that doesn't matter because we're going to be landing well short of the farm itself. You may recall Selin from our Stanton tour a couple weeks back when we were looking over the moons of Crusader. So we're going to try to land ourselves in a relatively flat area.
Landing complete.
Oh, that worked out. Better than I'd expected. Now, being that Solon is a moon, it's one of those places where you gotta have your spacesuit on, because otherwise you are going to die from lack of oxygen. Of course, there are also other problems. Cap flying is Cutlass Green. I know what you're thinking. There's no such thing as a Cutlass Green. That's true as far as it goes. And it looks like he's flying technically it's a Cutlass Black. So I can't do that possibility. And we're going to grab out one of our crates here. Because we're not going to be doing the shooting on my ship. That would cause damage. Oh, Cap, kill your engines. Kill your engines. Don't want that force effect to blow everybody away. Of course, I have no idea if Cap is actually hearing any of this. The smart man will probably type it in the party chat. Why don't we do that? Okay, so here we have it, our target of the day, the poor innocent box. Now, Star Citizen has a number of weapon slots depending on the kind of armor you're wearing. If you're wearing light armor, for example, you'll only be able to use one rifle, one sidearm. Medium and heavy, they can carry a couple rifles and a sidearm. We're not going to be going into the armor today because, well, it's there. I'm not 100% sure how much of the actual armor is implemented yet. We are going to start out going through some of the sidearms. And the first sidearm we are going to look at is the Arclight pistol. The Arclight pistol, as it shows you right here, is a laser pistol. Nice, traditional, high rate of fire, stopping power not so good. Let's get that put on. There we go. Now, every firearm has a couple hard points associated with it. You've got a barrel, you've got an underbarrel, and you've got a scope. The scope is kind of self-explanatory. It makes you see further. It also is useful if you're trying to aim. Underbarrel, sometimes you want to have something like a laser pointer available so you can see where you're shooting without having to guess. Or a flashlight in case your helmet flashlight decides to bug out on you and you're in a place that doesn't have any oxygen. The barrel has a number of options. Flash suppressors, tacit suppressors. Both of these will muzzle either the sound or the flash of the gunshot. It has compensators to help reduce the recoil so that you can stay on target with multiple shots. All right, you'll notice that we have an ammo indicator here, 30 shots of ammunition. Now, let me get this pointed over here so you can see the numbers here. You'll see that it has 30 listed on your heads-up display, and it has a little bullet symbol. This little bullet symbol will change depending on if your weapon has multiple firing modes. Right now, this firing mode is a single shot mode, and that's the only mode available for the pistol. Let's take an angle here where we can get a better look at the gun itself. Play with the camera angles a little. And a little closer. Maybe not that close. There we go, and hopefully that angle will work out well for testing out the rifles too. We'll find out. So, we have this box. As you can see, we are on a light gravity moon, which means if I shoot the box, it will go moving around. Now you'll notice again, we had a pretty good rate of fire here. Aim, not so good, but that's what you need a stabilizer for. This is one of the more inoffensive weapons as far as things go. It doesn't exactly have a good chance of killing off a target if they're wearing good armor. But if you're backed into a corner, something is better than nothing. Oh, look at that low gravity world. Everybody who gets a game account will start out with this pistol. You're probably going to want to upgrade it pretty early on. Luckily, there is a wide variety of pistols to work with. Let's hop into our equipment manager and take a look at the pistols. We have the S38, the Uberev, which I didn't want to click now, but I guess I will, the LH86, and the salvo frag pistol. Now you'll notice that I have a couple of these that are duplicated here. For example, they'll have the words like Stormfall or Glimmer or something like that. They are functionally the same. The crate is made of a frictionless metal called slipslidium. I decree this to be so. The box will hereafter be known as slipslidium boxes. I need to write that down so I don't forget, because my short-term memory will forget. Oh yeah, and the Coda pistol. Can't forget the Coda. We will start with the Uberev now, because since I seem to have accidentally selected it, might as well make use of it. Uberev is made by some guys who are interested in electron weapons. Lightning Bolt Company. Talk about going for name recognition here, right? It basically fires electron shots. And theoretically, it can spread damage to targets who are in the range, but I'm not sure anyone has ever actually seen that work. Cap, you ever seen the electron spread? And here we go. It's got that nice little rotational bit right in the center there. The design is, well, I guess we can call it interesting. It has 10 shots to it, so we're not going to be getting a whole lot out of this. As you can tell, its stopping power is somewhat dubious. Again, it's a single shot weapon. So no exotic fire mode. I don't think there's very many pistols that have exotic fire modes. Okay, we're going to take a quick second to stop inside the ship here, because the ship is warmer. One of the problems with being here on Selwyn is that it's very cold. And my core temperature is not perhaps the healthiest. But you see that it fires these electron shots. They're okay, but you know, we can do better. We'll try these. Actually, we do have one with the special firing mode, don't we? Well, maybe not. I'm not sure. We'll go with the Coda pistol next. This one's a representative of Castic Arms, and they're calling it a hand cannon, and it delivers. If this thing hits, it will hurt. This is the high caliber pistol, but as you'll also see on the right hand side, it has only 6 shots. And it's a ballistic weapon. Okay, I'm back to normal temperature now, so I can abuse myself with cold again. So, and I actually have a scope on here because I put it on there earlier. Coda is what I usually go with these days. It's not exactly an attractive looking weapon, but it's a pretty pretty good sized pistol there. Single shot, you can see on the lower right again. You'll also see that I have another 6 next to the 6. That's because, again, the Coda is my sidearm of choice. So I actually have a spare ammo clip on my armor for the Coda. So when I run out of the 6 shots, I will automatically reload. In fact, this is probably as good a time as any to demonstrate that detail. Take out clip, load clip. And we knocked it pretty far, didn't we? Admittedly, I used most of the ammo clip, well, all of the ammo clip on it. But still. Oh, right, I need to holster the gun if I want to get out there with any speed. So we managed to drive this poor thing all the way out here. We'll see if we can knock it back with our next selection. So we can make use of that slip slidium material. We'll work our way down. S38 from Bearing is a ballistic pistol. It doesn't have the same stopping power as the Coda, but to compensate, it has a bigger clip. 15 rounds in the magazine. Now you'll also see that we have an effective range and rate of fire for these things listed, but you're ultimately limited to how quick you can pull the trigger. And the range, that's a hard thing to nail down when, honestly, you can't actually, well, okay, you can see the people in your party's range, but you don't get to see the range of your targets unless you have a scope that actually has the range. Which I guess they do, so some of them do. Particularly with sniper rifles. At any rate, Bearing's offering here looks like a standard revolver. So that's probably a decent, well, not a revolver, but, you know, modern day handgun. Now you can see it didn't exactly go horribly far with a few shots. But I do have a number of shots. Got us a little bit closer back to the ships. Let's see if we can get it even closer. S38 was okay. Let's move on to the LH-86 from Gemini. I'm a fan of Gemini because Gemini's make some pretty nice guns. But they're not great guns. And this is kind of borderline. Just has a smaller clip in the bearing, a faster rate of fire, a little bit longer range. Let's let the movie class get it enabled. Slowly but surely. Any day of the year now. I hope this is not about to bug out on me. Let's try this again, shall we? Moby Glass remains one of the... Oh, now it's telling me it's enabled. And yet I'm not drawing any guns. Clearly, my Moby Glass is lying to me. How rude. Although I'd rather do this kind of thing with my pistols as opposed to my helmet. Oh, Cap is playing with heavier artillery there. We will be demonstrating that kind of gun too. I believe he's got a rail... I think it's a railgun he's got on him right now. Actually, that might be the missile launcher. Apocalypse Knives. No, that's the railgun. Okay. But we're going to be sticking with our handgun of choice. Gemini. Gemini is a much smaller weapon. Lightweight. Not Gemini, technically it's LH-86 or whatever it was. Oh, no, wrong button. Wrong button! Let's see how well we do. 13 shots. Rate of fire feels a little slower, but it's got enough stopping power to knock that box all the way under my ship. So this clearly has firepower to play with. Not as much as a Coda exactly, but you know. You gotta make a balance. You have these choices, and your decisions. The last pistol on the list is the salvo frag pistol. Let me step out of the shadow here. Now you'll notice that we have a slightly different symbol on the lower right-hand side here. It kind of looks like a little light bursting thing. I'm not 100% sure what that is. I believe it's something that allows me to charge the weapon to do more damage. For example, I can do a single shot, but if I hold my trigger down, it does stuff. Kind of like almost a shotgun effect. And whoa, I just knocked that thing all crazy. There it goes. There it goes. Now, you'll notice this only had 8 shots on it, so it's not exactly what you would call the most impressive. I think Cap is trying to demonstrate the railgun's capabilities by blowing up his own ship. So if you want to fire the salvo pistol quick with a lot of fast shots, you can do that. But you'll get more out of it if you hold your trigger down and then release. Ooh, look at that go! 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 It's beyond the horizon! I'm not chasing that. And this is why I grabbed multiple boxes. Now, it'll be up to you as to what sidearm you want to use, but I think you'll find that in most situations, if you have other weapons available, you're likely to use those other weapons, you know? It occurs to me that if the ship blows up, it's probably going to kill me. Maybe I should get a little further away. The good news is that he seems to have left his shields on, so blowing up the ship with a railgun is iffy. But not impossible, so I'm just going to keep that safe distance over here. Alright, here we go. So those are the pistols. Now I want to take a moment to note one of the other defensive tools you've got available. Grenades. I'm not going to be demonstrating the grenades. Honestly, grenades are pretty much the same the world over. You pull the pin, you throw it, it blows up. Well, theoretically it blows up. There may be some bugs that are currently hosing that sort of thing right now. So we're going to stick with what works. As you can see, we have a large variety of long arms, so to speak. There are a number of different classes of rifle. You've got your sniper rifle. You've got your assault rifle. You've got your shotguns. You've got your large or long machine guns, or I can never remember what the L stands for with machine guns. All I know is they hurt. You've got your submachine guns. And some of them will be laser, and some of them will be ballistic, and one will be electron. So in order to help keep my sanity intact, for the most part, we're going to go from the bottom up on my list. The reason for that is, well, I'll skip a couple though, because I'm saving those for last. So we will take the Castic Arms. Sorry, that's not correct. Clausen Werner's weaponry. The Lumen 5 submachine gun. It is a laser submachine gun, which I realize sounds like a odd combination. That's not it. When you have... That's not it either. I thought I equipped these things. Let's go back in here. I clearly did not save the thing when I selected it. No, not vehicle, equipment. Now you'll note that I'm doing very little commentary on, what is the best gun and all that. And that's primarily because, well, I'm really not good with the whole number thing. I tend to judge off of how well it works for me. If I have the electron sniper rifle and it doesn't take down my opponent as quickly as I would like, then I'm not likely to like the electron sniper rifle. I'll go with something that I prefer. And it takes some time. You test these things out, you see what happens. Why did I do that again? Alright. Oh, I think someone's shooting missile launchers now. Okay, here we are. Lumen submachine gun. You'll notice that this time I have 2 bullets here, which indicates I can hold the button down and it will keep firing. Let's see how well it does against our poor innocent slip-slidium box. Oh, let's wait till Cap is no longer in my firing range. So it's got a decent amount of stopping power. Rate of fire is decent. Yeah, that's the other thing. The 2 bullets means you can hold it down, but it's going to fire them in short bursts. That is the nature of this particular weapon. And let's see. Okay, that's better. And oh, there we go. Hitting the wrong button, so let's get a little closer here. It's a short rifle, nothing fancy. It's a submachine gun, so you don't expect huge, massive barrels. It also occurs to me that I could probably be setting up for 2 weapons instead of 1 at a time here, so why don't I do that? Let's be smart for once. I know it's out of character. The next pair of weapons we will look over will be the Devastator shotgun and the Gallant rifle. Again, is that smoke I'm seeing? Ah, he's trying to land on me! Luckily, the box is still there. Let's make sure I actually hit the save button before I did all that, since I was wondering about things smoking. Devastator, Gallant. Okay, we're going to start with the Devastator first. According to our stats here, it is a energy plasma weapon. So it's not quite laser, it's something a little more nasty. And it's a shotgun, which means it's kind of a, well, medium range, high impact plasma for close combat, room clearance, and other combat operations. What does all this mean? Let's find out. See, pull out the gun. No, not that gun. Not that gun. This gun. Now again, you can see that spread thing, so I imagine that the longer I hold the button down, the more of an impact this will have. For example, one shot, and you can see when everything impacted the crate, it was impacting on multiple points. It's the kind of spread you would see off of a shotgun. Now if you hold it down, and then pull the trigger, well, for starters, I gotta get closer because I'm pretty sure I've knocked that thing out of my effective range. So let's try that again. Pretty good stopping power for something that's, you know, a shotgun. And it's still rolling, still rolling, still rolling. Nothing rolls like Slip Slidium, a useless fiend trademark. Let's take a look at the gallant now. Actually, let's not look at the gallant. Let's look at the gallant in here so we can pull up the information on it first. Gallant is a standard laser assault rifle. So, theoretically, a medium range. We'll see how well that works. 60 ammo clips. Now you'll notice that the little icon in the lower right hand here is changing. That's because this has an alternate firing mode. I can either do short bursts, or I can do as long as my ammo holds out. Now you notice that the infinite ammo is doesn't fire nearly as fast as the short bursts. Decent stopping power, not great, but the goal here is to hit them with more than one shot. You're not going to get a one-shot kill on someone with heavier armor, theoretically. I'm going to swap over to the infinite fire mode and wipe out the rest of my ammo here. And it conveniently tells me out of ammo. Maybe I should pull the camera back a little bit for these angles. And I don't know if I did that for the other weapon, so that's the shotgun. So I seem to have knocked the box pretty far. Ah, there we are. Didn't lose it after all. That's good. I should start knocking these things back towards the ship because easier to find the boxes that way. Assault rifles are pretty good in bunker missions. If you're trying to deal with people at range, most of the bunker missions tend to be that kind of thing. Not huge, long-range affairs. And the shotgun supposedly has some pretty decent knockback, too. I usually don't use shotguns all that much personally, but that's a personal preference. Our next pair will be the Karna Assault Rifle and the BR2 Shotgun. We're going to start with the BR2 here. This is a bearing specialty. Magazine of 12 shots. It's a ballistic shotgun, so this is very much like the kind of shotguns that you might use today, except, you know, higher tech. We're all about the high tech. We're also theoretically all about getting the stuff to save here, but they are not saving. Lag, lag, lag. The lag hates me. There we go. Now you can see that this thing's got a nice little barrel attached to it, so it's clearly not quite your standard shotgun. It's not a pump action thing. This is a barrel thing. There are no alternate modes on this, so basically it's going to be straight point, shoot, fire. Again, it doesn't seem to do too much when you have to deal with range. It's primarily close quarters weaponry. If you're charging into a bunker going for a suicidal charge, shotguns are the way to go. I try to avoid not being in that particular situation, so I don't tend to go with that particular weapon. The Karna assault rifle, on the other hand, and it is an assault rifle, is a plasma weapon. And it has not one, not two, but 3 firing modes. So let's bring up the Karna. And it really does look like an assault rifle sort of deal, doesn't it? Ammo, 30 rounds. And you can see I've got infinite burst, limited burst, and charge weaponry. We're going to start with the limited burst first. Yeah, I think talking about the scope actually... Oh, what have I done? When I'm talking about scopes, you'll notice that we have a thing here that says 0. There's an ability to try to zero your range on these things. Some of them are better than others. This scope, for example, it doesn't have an automatic range finder on here, so you kind of have to guess. Some scopes will automatically tell you how far they are, and you can zero them out to 100% precision. Okay, limited burst. Not bad, not bad. Charged burst. Let me see. I don't want to knock it too far away. Where is mine? Okay. Fingers were on the wrong keys. That gets embarrassing. Charged burst. Hold down. And fire. Yeah, that one didn't exactly set the world on fire, did it? But we have our empty the clip. Yes, not only slipslidium, but an alloy of slipslidium and ghostium. Yes, I can occasionally blow them through rocks. Well, you know, nothing's perfect. And there it goes. Still sliding, still sliding. All right. And let's see, did I do a... Yeah, we did. So, the next weapons on our parade. Our hit parade, so to speak. Yeah, I went there. going to go to a couple of interesting choices here. Bearings FS9 long machine gun and the Custodian submachine gun. Now, for a long time, I was a big fan of the Custodians. Yeah, they need to work on that physics engine some more. Yeah. Well, part of it also has to do with the fact that we're doing this on a low gravity moon. I don't know if we would see quite this level of entertainment on a normal gravity environment. That said, trying to render every single rock on these moons might be challenging. Then again, maybe not. Who knows? Yes, it is. Okay, but that sometimes happens too. The Custodian is a submachine gun, laser, and I was using this for a long time before I went pretty much all ballistic. It's got a 60 round clip. Oh, there's Cap back of his ship. I don't know if he brought the red this time or not. It has alternate firing modes of a charge and the spray and pray submachine gun stat. So let's take a peek at how this does. You can always see when you're charging, it always has those vents come out. And it fires a quick burst. Pretty decent stopping power. I mean, knocked it all the way over there, which is pretty impressive. Now we're going to check the unload the entire clip on it. As you can see, the rate of fire is pretty impressive. There's a reason why I was going with the Custodian for a very long time. I am a fan. But it kind of got displaced by a different weapon, which I'll get to later on down the line. Now this is the Bearings long machine gun, and I better pull back a little further here. And it's a big one. It is nothing but ballistic, and you can see we've got 120 rounds on here. And it's basically pull the trigger down and laugh like a maniac as you do so. This is going to be entertaining. And there it goes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch up with that. You got to admit, the long machine gun, large machine gun, however they want to call it, light machine gun, you got to admit that it is a very pleasing sound to it. It gives you this. When it shoots, you know you're shooting something with heavy caliber. That said, it does tend to go through 100 rounds very quickly. But it is not the quickest. Okay, we're moving our way along, aren't we? Next up, we're going to have a couple offerings from Gemini. The C-54 submachine gun and the AO-3 sniper rifle. And I did not grab that correctly. That was silly. AO-3. Bearing is basically using these as... Oh, let's see. Where are my... This one's a ballistic, and so is a submachine gun. Let's get that saved. first we want to pull out the sniper rifle. This is actually one of the more recent weapons introduced into Star Citizen. The Gemini's sniper rifle, that is, not sniper rifles in general. In sniper rifles, their strong point is range. For example, if I wanted to kill off Cap from this distance, this would be what I would do. No, Cap, I am not going to shoot you. I also see you pointing at me, so, you know... Oh, of course you might be pointing at my box. You know, that's actually a good point, though. In order to really test this kind of thing, I need some distance from that box, so why don't we go back a little bit. I feel like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. No, not that weapon. This weapon. This weapon. The problem with these scopes, though, is it's very easy to lose track of where the heck the target went. Oh, there it is. Oh, I wonder if Cap shot it, and that's how come I lost track. Sure, we'll blame Cap. Now, you'll notice that this has one of those adjustable range scopes. So it's telling me how far away my target is, and I can adjust it so that the weapon zeroing matches what it should be. I am 37 meters away. It doesn't seem like 37 meters, but there you have it. So let's see what happens when I hit it from here. Okay, maybe I should have stayed on scope. Oh, apparently I cannot hit the thing from here, which is... Oh, there we go. Finally hit it. This does have a recoil issue, so... And now we're 73 meters away. So why don't we hit it one more time? No, I said hit it one more time. There we go. Whoop. I think I might have knocked that thing out of existence. Oh, wait a second. It's all the way... Did I just find my other box? Works for me. Let's take a look at our other Gemini offering here. The C-54. And the C-54 submachine gun has become my weapon of choice. You like that sniper rifle? It is a nice sniper rifle. The problem is that its killing ability is not as solid as you would like. Usually if I'm taking out a target, it takes more than one shot to take out the target with that rifle. But I do have a favorite sniper rifle, and more on that soon. The C-54 from Gemini, on the other hand, is... Oh, you're judging looks? Yeah, I can't argue with that one. Gemini makes some really beautiful looking weapons. This is a Gemini submachine gun, and again, is very sci-fi looking. I guess that's probably the highest praise I can give it at the moment. Well, that plus the fact that it's a really good submachine gun. This is my preference for my... Oh, wrong button again. This is my preference for spray and pray activities. Sometimes there's a little bit of a bug when you're doing your weapon swapping. There we go. Again, you'll see that we have the infinite fire icon down here, which means it's pull the trigger and blow out your ammo. You'll also see that I have 150 rounds extra ammo on here because this is my preferred submachine gun. It is ballistics. Let's see how good of a rate of fire it really does have. And I'm out. That 50 rounds goes by very quickly. Okay, let's go catch up with the box. Poor little Ghostium Slidium box. We are beating the tar to me today. Cap is heading off again. Who knows what he is doing his ship, besides, you know, looking threatening, flying a Drake Cutlass in. And going through the ground, apparently. Man, I hope he's not about to blow up his ship. Okay, rather than dwell upon the gruesome possibilities that may be coming up from Cap's flying ability, we will instead continue on our merry way with the weapon systems. And the next one will be, well, see, we've already done the Gallant. The Arrowhead Sniper Rifle, and the Axcav Sniper Rifle. So we have a pair of sniper rifles on our list here. One of these is a laser sniper rifle. One of these is an electron sniper rifle. The lightning bolt folk are the ones who make this gun. So, and it's got 5 shots. So we're talking really limited magazine. And the stopping power has always been iffy for me. But theoretically, if you hit a guy once with it, and then you hit him again, the second shot will do more damage. Or so I'm told. Now again, we've got that catchy rotating section in there, which I guess is what builds up part of the charge. And since we tested long distance with the previous one, let's do it again with this one. Dum, 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 dum. Maybe I'll go faster if I do carry. Here we go. Dum, 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 dum. That is another reason why I wanted to go in a relatively flat area of selling here, because that way I can get a fair amount of distance. A 100 meters is a pretty decent distance, don't you think? And there's our target. Unfortunately, it looks like the weapon zeroing is only in increments of 200 on this scope. Oh well. Now you'll see that I've got a hit on there. There's a bit of a recoil on this thing. No special fancy assault modes. Just fire and forget. You'll see that it didn't exactly cause a lot of recoil to the target either, because, you know, Electron, it's not an impact weapon. Now here we have the Arrowhead. And again, we're looking at long range here, different scope here, but this one at least has a zero finder on here, so I can adjust this. This is also one of those weapons that can either fire a single shot or a charged shot, because you can see over here we've got that charge symbol here. So, hold it down, see everything doing this, starting to shake, starting to shimmer. But the problem was that the shaking and shimmering, this is not what you would call a great attribute for a sniper rifle, if you ask me. The whole point of having a sniper rifle is to have the thing nice and steady so you can actually shoot on your target and make it stay still. So we're going to try something just for giggles here. I'm going to go to my equipment manager here. Go to the Arrowhead rifle. We're going to look at the attachments on here. I believe, let's see, do I have? Yes, there's a stabilizer called an E-Mod stabilizer, which should theoretically help keep the recoil down. Now, you might ask, recoil on an energy weapon? Well, we did just see that sort of thing here, didn't we? Let's see if that'll help keep this thing from wobbling so much. No, that's asking an awful lot, apparently. On the other hand, my shot was on target. So if you're going to be using the Arrowhead, my advice, don't put on the, well, Ordinarily in a sniper rifle, I'm putting on a passive suppressor to kill the sound, because the sound seems to be the primary thing that makes an opponent, an AI opponent, recognize that, hey, someone's killing our dudes, we better go out there and start shooting back. But with this rifle, you might be better off with an EMOD stabilizer so that your shots actually hit your target. For this reason, among others, I don't really use the arrowhead. Personal preference, I know a couple people who swear by it. I'm not one of them. Okay, our next pair are going to be the light machine guns. I'm going to go with the really fun stuff here, and we're going to be using the Demico from Klaus and Werner, and the F-55 from Gemini. Now, you'll notice that range on these tend to be around 30 meters. No, this one's 30 meters. What's the other one? Demico. 40 meters. So, obviously, we're going to have to get a little closer to open them up. Run, 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 run. Yeah, we're in range now. I want to be in the light. Oh, not the sidearm. Okay, this is the Gemini. I'm here to shoot you. Again, it has that distinctive Gemini kind of look, which I'm a fan of. Alright, let's see if the rate of fire on this puppy is something to be terrified by. We have 150 rounds of ammo. Go! Now this thing's got massive recoil, so holding it down while you're still firing at your target can be rough. And unlike some other rifles, and let's go over to the equipment manager to show it, it does not have a barrel attachment, which means you have no way to stabilize that recoil. So while I like this particular one, while I like the F-55, the F-55 is clearly not designed for precision firing. The fact that it bumps up like that, that's a hard thing to deal with. Now, the Demico, on the other hand, if I recall correctly, is a laser large machine gun. Let me verify this, because I should have done that earlier, but sometimes I'm slow. Yes, laser light machine gun. But it does not have any special alternate modes, just, again, hold the trigger down and watch the entertainment happen. Doesn't quite, because it's a laser, it doesn't quite look like a light machine gun. It doesn't have the big barrels or anything like that. But as you'll see shortly, I wouldn't underestimate it. Rate of fire is slower, but I had a lot more hits on target there. And I didn't even use up all the ammo for this to knock it all the way over here. The light machine guns have their place. I've raided bunkers using the F-55. This laser kind of reminds me of Fallout 4 lasers. I'm going to take your word on that one. I actually never played the Fallout games, so I don't have a good handle on how they would compare. Okay, let's take a look at our next pair of weaponry. Getting closer to some of my... We'll do the S71 from Gemini, a ballistic assault rifle, and we're going to skip the next one on the list because I'm saving that for future reference. And we're going to go with the P6LR as the sniper rifle, which is also ballistic from Bering. So, P6LR. This is my favorite sniper rifle. It has only 8 shots, and its ammunition is probably the most expensive weapon ammo out there. It is worth it. If I hit something in the chest or head with this gun, that is it for them. They are D-U-N done. Okay, let's see. Scope. And there's the box. He is currently 76 meters away. It is ballistic, and this thing is a high caliber puppy here. If I can actually hit the target, of course. Well, apparently this does not do as well against slipslidium as it does against people, because this gun has never failed to give me a kill if I get a solid shot on it. Okay, there we go. There's a hit. I was hoping for more out of the sniper rifle here because it's always done so well for me in combat situation, and having it at a point where it's... Okay, I saw that one bounce it. Oh, I'm out of ammo. That's good because we'll swap to the next weapon. But the P6LR has always been a very useful weapon for me. It is my weapon of choice when I'm attacking a bunker, because I will take out opponents and they'll have no clue I'm coming until I put a bullet through their heads. Which is all you can really ask out of a sniper rifle. Not that button, this button. Now, by comparison, we have here the Gemini assault rifle, the S71. You'll see that it does not have a burst or infinite bullet on here. So this is basically a pull the trigger, shot comes out. That's all there is to it. But it does work. I like to think of this as more of a precision weapon. This is what I'll usually go with if I'm teaming with somebody to attack a bunker, because you don't have really the time to deal with the target. You can't take your time with a sniper rifle when you have other people who are going in there pulling things away at random, screaming at the top of their lungs. Also, I have a laser sight under barrel, so I can demonstrate that, so I can see that, hey, that's where I'm shooting, so I don't have to worry about pulling this up to my scope to see if I'm hitting my target. I can use the laser sight to do the job for me. And yeah, that kind of bouncing around is exactly what I would have expected from a sniper rifle. Let's go catch up. Run, run, run. And if things keep going as they are, I might have to relocate positions on this moon, because it seems that night is beginning to fall here. I had a lot more time in the light than I was expecting, though, so I can't complain. S71 is one of my weapons of choice. Okay, next pair. Did I do Ravager already? I didn't do Ravager. Good. Next will be the P8SC submachine gun, which that one's a ballistic from Bering, and the Ravager. Yeah, we're skipping the Scourge. We'll come to that. Don't worry. We'll come to that. The Ravager twin shotgun. twin shotgun, incidentally, is a ballistic shotgun as well. So we're looking at a pair of ballistic weapons here. First up, the submachine gun. Again, it looks like a submachine gun. It's ballistic, but it does have alternate modes, so you can either do short bursts, or you can do your spray and pray. Look at it go. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. In many ways, this is a lot better than I would have had expected if I did the beer bottle thing, because, you know, the entertainment of watching these crates bounce like crazy, that makes it all worthwhile. Now, the twin shotgun also has a dual mode. We've got single shot, and we have double barrel. Again, ballistic castic arms. Let's see how it does. Single shot. And double barrel. Ooh. Field goal. Now, as mentioned before, shotguns are pretty close-range weapons, so the closer you are to a target, the more effective it's going to be, although it won't have quite the same amount of spread. Okay, we're getting closer to the end of the line, these guys. We're going to grab the P4 AR assault rifle and the scalpel sniper rifle. Now, scalpel is a ballistic weapon, and so is the P4 AR. So, ballistics are still king. This is our sniper rifle. That means I can go back a bit. Now, we do have a couple assault modes on here. We have the double shot. I guess these are the short bursts, or single shot. We're going to try single shot first. I only have 8 rounds on this thing, so. Okay, we managed to knock it off its pedestal a little bit. Let's see what happens if we have a burst attack on this thing. Okay, maybe it's not a burst. Maybe it's using both barrels. Yeah, it's using 2 shots of ammo for each shot. Didn't seem to be as impressive as I would have liked, though. The assault rifle, on the other hand, if I can get the thing in my hands properly, will make up for it. Again, we have a number of fire modes here. We have a single shot, we have the spray and pray, and we have the limited burst. Single shot. Burst. And all the ammo. Oh, sorry. I still have that single shot. My bad. Fairly short, fairly compact, but effective. Not what you expect as far as size goes for an assault rifle, but it does the job. Next up, the R97 shotgun, and making its debut of performance on this trip, the Scourge railgun. we're going to go with our rifle here first. This shotgun is from Gemini, so, you know, it has the distinctive Gemini look to it. It is ballistic because it's Gemini. And we have here a couple of different firing modes here. We have the single shot mode, and then we have something that I'm not really sure what that's telling me. So let's learn together, shall we? Single shot. Not too bad. So what's this other one? I'm very curious. Automatic shotgun. Okay. Oh, that thing is going all the way out there. We're gonna just let it go because the next weapon on our list. Okay, actually, I take that back. I do want a box. But instead of chasing that one down, we're going to go on board the Mercury over here and grab one of my spares. Oh, I just passed one. No, I'm hallucinating boxes. It's amazing how heavy these boxes are for something that's holding exactly one bottle of water in it. Alright. Let's go over what the stats about the railgun say before I pull it out here. Because it's important to understand what exactly it's for. It is a ballistic weapon. It has an effective range of 200 meters. So it has range. And it's basically used to deal with, well, vehicles. That makes it capable of blowing up small starships. Or even damaging, shall we say, other ones. Let's pull this puppy out here. This is the railgun, and we're going to swap our angle here because, you know, it assumes we're all right-handed. Now, it has a targeting scope and the ability to charge. So, you hold the mouse button down, or your trigger if you're using a HOTAS. But eventually, it dissipates the charge and no effect. We're going to try this heavy, deadly weapon on this innocent crate. And it is gone. I hope you didn't have any great personal attachment to that particular crate, because that crate is history. Maybe it got blown up into orbit. Maybe it got blown into far distance. All I can tell you is, it is out of here. Now, this is the kind of thing that allows you to also take some shots on starships. Although the Mercury is a horrible choice for that sort of thing, because the Mercury is better shielded and is a bigger ship. But this is a weapon that can be used against smaller ships, and... Oh, is that the crate? No, I think that's a piece of debris knocked off of the ship. Alright, the next one of our weapons, and actually I'm going to need a box again because I've forgotten about this one. We're saving the best for last, don't worry, but at the moment, I need another crate. I'm glad I thought to get a lot of crates here because I'm apparently going to need most of them. Over here looks good. Let's just toss it over here. And while that's going over there, early on, I skipped the TP-33 mod grenade launcher. Basically, it's a, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a grenade launcher. It's pretty good. If you don't even have to be precise to kill people with this. If you're in the same general area, you will take them down. Presuming, of course, I don't drop the stupid thing. As you can see, it's got the nice big barrel here. Let's try to hit somewhere that's not actually at the box. Ooh, there it goes. I don't think this thing has that great a range, though, so... Well, maybe it does have that good a range. So, the grenade launcher is a pretty nice weapon. The problem here is that it's not a straight line of sight kind of thing, so aiming with this can be a little challenging, especially if there happens to be a lot of barriers between you and your targets. Trying to shoot over those barriers, not gonna happen. It's a grenade launcher, but it's not like you can toss a grenade. It's still going to be something that's basically propelled forward primarily. All right, here we go. The final touch. We've got a grenade launcher. That's not the most destructive thing here. The Animus missile launcher would win that award. The missile launcher is basically an anti-vehicle solution. Shields and small ships. So let's pull that out. And it can fire up to 3 of these babies, although not simultaneously. Well, I'm pretty sure not simultaneously. Let's check the weapon mode. Nope. So once again, we are going to try to use it on a target more worthy of its attention. My starship. Now, I don't think it's going to blow up my starship because I'm pretty well shielded. But accidents happen, right? So we're going to scuff the paint job a little bit. Now you'll see that when I right-click to close in on it, it gives me like a similar kind of thing that you would see on a missile lock from a starship missile. And you would basically fire with the... when you fire, you'll fire on the locked target. Missile lock was not very impressive there, though, was it? It tends to do better with ships in flight, shall we say. And again, it tends to prefer ships that are smaller. I strongly doubt I even scratched the paint job on this. But with that, we have gone through the entire inventory at this point. Well, all the firearms. There is one more personal weapon that perhaps has not gotten as much respect, but it does exist. The combat knife. That's right. Yeah, that wasn't what I expected from a missile launcher either. It's a little bit more entertaining with smaller ships, and if they're in flight, tossing them on a landed target, it hasn't exactly impressed. No, not that. Here we go. The combat knife. Because, you know, there are times where you just want to play Mr. Stabby. Against an unarmored opponent, the knife is actually pretty potent. Against an opponent who is wearing armor, well, you know, don't take a knife to a gunfight. I'm just saying. But sometimes, if you run into a situation where all your ammo is dry for your rifles and your pistol, and you have nothing else to work with, you have a choice of either using your fists, which, yes, you can do, or if you want to have a better chance of doing it in your opponent, use the knife. And, well, for demonstrating the finest features of what goes in the weapon slot, then I would be ignorant if I didn't include the Pyro RYT multi-tool, which has a number of potential attachments to it. It can either use an oxy cutter, which actually doesn't do anything. I'm not even sure why this is in the game at the moment. But just for giggles, we'll enable it anyway. Logically speaking, you would think that the whole point behind it would be to cut through, say, doors or stuff like that. So if I were to say, well, okay, this is a bad example because this has a ramp, and cutting through that ramp is just not going to happen. And you know what? It's not actually doing anything at all now. So, you know, I think it's actually gotten worse than the last time I looked at it. At least before, it actually seemed to do something. But now it doesn't do anything at all. I am less than impressed. But to be fair, it wasn't really doing much of anything, even when it did have workable stuff. You've got the mining bit, the orbit mining attachment, and anybody who has watched any of my more criminal streams might remember this one. Although it's not actually doing anything, is it? I mean, I can see the power being set here. I wonder if I'm bugged. Well, I'll know for certain in a moment, because the last one, which is a pretty entertaining one to play with, is the most recent one, which is the tractor beam attachment. In 0G, it's basically a grapple gun. In normal gravity, it can move around small boxes. Yeah, mass limit exceeded. Big surprise there. If I can't tractor beam a move, who'd have thunk it? But if I were to say tractor beam, I don't know, my last remaining crate. Okay, I am definitely bugged here because the trigger has not worked for any one of these. So let me get back to my equipment manager and fiddle with this for a minute. Maybe that's why the oxy cutter wasn't doing anything, because the whole bloody tool was bugged out. Empty, empty, empty. I always like to use the second utility slot for this, because the utility slot for the first slot, actually I guess you don't even have the option anymore. It used to be that you could put it in the first or second slot. Now, oh, there we are. But I like to have the first slot clear so I can put in crypto keys in case I need to, you know, take care of any criminal records that I might need to deal with, or if I want to turn off somebody's ComSat array. Okay, save that. Then we'll try the tractor beam tool again. Okay, one more try. There we go. And it can either push or pull. This was a very handy tool to have during the Xenothreat event, where you had to unload and load a cargo very quickly. And that tractor beam was a big help. Okay, now we'll try the oxy cutter. See, Merry Christmas. I have no idea why this thing was giving me problems. Although I have certain suspicions, because I recently had an encounter with Gale, and it's possible that that might have had something to do with it. Here we go. So theoretically speaking... Okay, that's a horrible example. Let's see. Can I lock this door closed? Okay, good. Now let's see what happens. Oh, wrong button. Now you can see it's doing something, but it's not exactly doing a whole lot here, is it? Having a little trouble with my third-person view here, too. Okay, I have no idea if that did anything or not. We're just gonna ignore it. But theoretically speaking, if you were trying to burn your way through the hull of a ship, oh, it's actually doing something to the shielding here. So theoretically, this would allow you to cut your way in through the hatch of a ship. You may find if you're trying to get into the hatch of a ship, you might be better off using something like a railgun instead. On the other hand, unlike the railgun, this does not run out of power. Alright. Now that we've gone through all the handy guns here, I think it's a good time to see just how you would use them in a live fire scenario. I mean, if you've gone through all this effort of watching me go through a long list of guns and all that, you should at least have the satisfaction of seeing them in action. Plus, as a special bonus, you might get to see me killed off again too. So you know, good times all around.
Engines on. Launch complete.
Now, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to find a whole lot in the way of first-person shooter missions in the Crusader system. Although I could be wrong. No, nothing there. And nothing here. I'm not horribly surprised to see that. So it's going to be off to the Hurston system, which has always been the big, for all the talk about Crusader being infested with criminals because of the whole Grim Hex thing and Nine Tails Pirates and all that. I find that Hurston is far more riddled with crime than Crusader is. That said, you could probably make a legitimate argument that the crime, quote-unquote, around Hurston is a way of rebelling against the cruel overlords who would like nothing more than to oppress the working class. And if you look at it sideways, you could think of it that way. I am using one of the better quantum drives on the ship, so it will take like maybe 3 minutes to, less than 3 minutes technically, to traverse the system from Crusader to Hurston. Fun fact, when you see this line down here, this indicator here tells you how many seconds it will take for you to traverse the distance. If it's a multi-stage jump, like say from Hurston to Ariel or something like that, it'll give you the total. So if you ever, now the total does not include the time it takes for you to spool up your quantum drive and do its thing. It's solely the time it takes once you're actually quantum traveling. Now while we're on our way, let's choose a proper loadout. And it'll unsurprisingly match up with what I have on my ammo belt for the most part. I say for the most part because I want to do some replacements here. I'm going to replace the Extra C54 magazine. I'm going to replace the S71 with the P6 LR. If I'm in a situation where I need to use more than 16 sniper shots, I have bigger problems. My weaponry will consist of the P6LR sniper rifle, the C54 submachine gun, and my sidearm will be Coda. Because if I'm in a panic situation, I need to use a sidearm. I want something that's going to kill people. Gotta go. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you, Fiendy. I hope the rest of your day goes just perfect. You take care of yourself. At any moment now, I should save in the weapons any day of the year now. Slow Moby Glass. And I don't want to go away from the screen because, there we go. I did so many changes I didn't want to fiddle with things. Okay. Usually you can find entertainment on the bounty hunting, and we're going to go with the evict illegal occupants. HPSF Damaris. Now the first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to stop at Everest Harbor. Because the last thing I want to do is get myself killed and then have to come all the way from Crusader all over again. That's just something I prefer not to have happen to me. Once I've quote-unquote tagged Everest, if I get killed, I'll respawn in Everest. Actually, you know what? I was already going to spawn at Everest because I haven't hit a space station since, so... Oops. Oh, that's okay. I don't have to go far, and it actually still puts me in a decent position. Now, the problem with going after a facility on the ground is that they tend to be guarded by turrets. And those turrets, they will hit you hard. Hopefully it's still on the day side of the planet. Let's see. Let's take a bit of precautions here. We're going to upgrade the weapon systems to overclock them. Because I think I'm going to want to do more damage if at all possible. I'm going to
Quantum travel complete.
increase the strength of the forward shields, because those are the ones that are going to take the most hits. And I'm going to lock the guns forward so that... The fact is that gimbals are usually great at tracking other ships, but they suck against tracking turrets, so... It is one of those situations where it's probably better this way. There is another thing I can do too, however. I have another number of missiles available. It might be worth my while to blow them up with missiles instead of trying to take them out with the laser repeaters. Because the missiles, you can still use and lock onto targets. Because really, if we're going to be demonstrating the ground weapons here, it would be nice to actually be able to demonstrate the ground weapons, as opposed to being blown up before I even get that far. But, you know, it is what it is. There are some rock formations I could conceivably hide behind, but that's going to be a bit of a long haul, I think. I'm not going to discount it completely, though. Yeah, 5 kilometers is a rough run. 1 kilometer is a rough run. Okay, I'm going to try to get that guy.
Missile locked. Missiles empty.
I was really hoping that was going to blow him up.
Missile locked. Attack on
Lower.
shields. Weapons too hot.
Okay, good news is oh, that's the bad news. Stop. Rotate. Okay, it's still attached, which is good. Now, the angle I'm in right now prevents that last turret from actually hitting me.
Landing gear
Oh,
down.
no. I was getting a little too clever there.
Landing complete.
Well, you know, any landing you can walk away from, right?
Engines off.
So we have 8 hostiles in play. Our goal is to wipe all of them out. I could have done the straight take out 1 target mission, authorized execution. It doesn't pay as well, though. Although, I guess if you want to go from a raw person point of view, the authorized execution is more profitable because you get 7,000 for killing 1 target as opposed to 14,000 for killing 8 targets. That said, the authorized executions usually do have multiple hostiles, which means anyone you kill that isn't your main target, you're basically killing off for free. Just a little ugly out here today. Windy, blowing up all this dust and crud. Now, before we go in, let's take one more look at the equipment manager and make sure that I'm not missing anything important, like, say, med pens. Okay, good. They're going to be changing med pens in the near future, and that's going to change things. I don't know how it's going to work exactly, where it's basically going to work similar to the way a gun works. We'll pull it out, and then you'll use it. It'll basically be a 2-action thing instead of a 1-action thing. I think that's kind of overkill, but you know, I guess it's something that they're trying to work in for the medical play that's going to be coming in. Let's Alright. I've got a suppressor on this sniper rifle, so theoretically if I take out an enemy, he will go down and nobody around him will know it. How's that for precision? Took the guy out right in the slot here. 1 kill down. More to go. Oh, and we have another guy who's right there. It's kind of unsporting to shoot him in the back of the head. Oh, these are bad guys. I'm not here to be sporting. I'm here to take out the bad guys. So, 2 out of 8 so far. And now's where it starts getting a little more tense, because now you don't have any more obvious targets you can use. They could be around corners, they could be walking and patrolling. Things could get really ugly really quick. Okay, so we seem to be clear on the sides here. So now we're going to start doing things a little more challenging. There might be guys on the lower level there. Stand up. Better field of view. If they notice me and start shooting, bad things will happen. At that point, we have to abandon subtlety. I had to do 2 shots on him. I couldn't take the chance of things going ugly. At least not that quickly. Oh. Sometimes the physics in here, as Fiendy indicated earlier in the stream, they can tend to be wacky, and some of those guns start flipping around and doing weird things. And when you're kind of feeling tense to begin with, that's a really nervous thing to have happen. Oh, look, another target. You know, it's possible that they may have discovered that bad things are happening to them. The more I can take out in more or less stealth manner. Oh! Oh, they've got me all right. Looks like stealth is no longer an issue. I have no idea where that shot came from. Oh, there he is. Fall down. Thank you. It wouldn't be the first time I've seen him do the falling down animation and then stand back up and start shooting me with lots of bullets. Okay, stealth is no longer an option. Now it's about take out the opponent before he takes me out. Yeah, I was thinking about swapping to a sniper rifle on that one, but he started moving around and I couldn't really afford to let him. Oops! Yeah, so it's like that. One to go. But even if there's one to go, that still makes him a danger. It still makes him a threat. It only takes one guy, after all, to completely ruin your day. one you don't see coming. That will finish the job. It sounded like he was from above. I just can't prove it. He clearly had line of sight on me, but he didn't have a good area to fire on me, or otherwise I'd be in a lot worse shape. I'm still at 100% health. I could have sworn I'd gotten hit before. Where are you? I want to fill you full of lead. And that takes care of the bad guys. You can fall down now. Now, just as a point of information, oh, stay down. Sheesh. As I was saying, what you can do afterwards, or even during, is you can grab one of their guns and use them. So if you're in a situation where you have to be in a bunker mission like this, maybe if you're doing a attempt to get rid of your crime stat, for example, and you don't have very many guns to work with, you can easily grab one of the ones dropped from maybe someone helping you out, and then pick up the weapons of the guys you've taken out until you're out of ammo, drop it, and pick up the next one. You only have one clip to work with, but they do work. So that's something worth considering if you're in a situation where you're doing a bunker raid, but your ammo supply is low, or you have no gun at all because you just got out of prison. The illegal way, that is. And that's pretty much all there is to it. You have a wide variety of weapons to work with, although I don't recommend using missile launchers, railguns in these missions. Grenade launchers are okay. Still awfully windy out here. Now, why am I still carrying this guy's gun? There is one more thing I'd like to show / point out. Yeah, that must have been the area where I whacked the ground. It looks a little red there. A lot of starships will have an additional feature that you can take advantage of. Let's go inside, close her up. I have to be careful how I get out of here because that turret's still active. What you'll find are a number of weapon racks. So you can place your guns onto the racks. And that'll be important because right now, weapons are not what you call fully physicalized. I mean, they are, but they're not. I have all these guns I was able to demonstrate. But let's face it, I can't carry all those guns. I would look like some bad 1990s comic book character if I had all those guns on my back. So where are they coming from? I'm pulling them out of nowhere. That's not how it works. It can't work that way. So, what you gotta do is physicalize it. Have a place to hold weapons. You won't have them on you personally all the time, just for giggles. Where's the railgun? I have no idea if I can keep the railgun on the rack, but it'll be fun to try. No, I can't place a railgun on the rack. Big shock there, right? But it'll be stored somewhere. I can place the pistol, though. So eventually the only way you'll be able to use the rifles are what you can either store on your armor or have on these weapon racks. The downside is, well, persistence is still a problem. I've been told that on the Carrack it works properly, but on other ships, like say this one, if you store the ship, these guns go bye-bye. And not all ships actually have weapon racks either, which is going to make life entertaining for the ships that don't, that should. Like, say, the Freelancer, for example. Especially the military variant. We're going to stow that gun now because, you know, that is my standard weapon. I just brought the Custodian from the pirate base simply so I could demonstrate this. We are coming up, well, actually, technically, we are past the 3 o'clock hour, which means we're at the end of our stream today. Programming note, while I ordinarily do streams every Saturday, I will not be able to do a stream next Saturday for real-life reasons, shall we say. Let's leave it at that. So there will be no Saturday stream. Ordinarily, I stream Star Citizen on Saturday afternoons, 1 o'clock p.m. to approximately 3 o'clock p.m. We'll obviously not be picking up next week. It'll be the week after for Star Citizen. I will also be demonstrating on Wednesday Star Trek Online. Well, not so much demonstrating, but playing the next episodes on Star Trek Online. That will start at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern to roughly 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern on Wednesday night. I want to thank you all for watching, whether you are watching this live or you are watching it later on through the magic of the internet on YouTube or Twitch. Your odds on either one depend on when you look. Thank you all for watching. I appreciated all this. I hope to see you again next time. This is Korath Landwalker signing off.